How many vowel letters do we have in the English alphabet? What sounds do they make? Let's find out. What's up guys, my name is Shane and today we are talking about pronunciation and the alphabet. Pronunciation is very important because it helps English speakers understand you very easily. One of the best ways to improve your pronunciation is to practice the alphabet. In the alphabet we have 26 letters, 5 vowels and 21 consonants. In today's video, we are talking about the vowels, so let's get started. So what are the 5 vowels in English? We have A, E, I, O, U. Now you try. A, E, I, O, U. Vowels can have either long sounds or short sounds. So let's look at the long sounds first. A, ape, ape. Now you try. Ape. E, eagle, eagle. Now you try. Eagle. I, ice, ice. Now you try. Ice. O, ocean, ocean. Now you try. Ocean. U, unicorn, unicorn. Now you try. Unicorn. Let's do the short sounds. At, apple, apple. Now you try. Apple. Egg, egg. Now you try. Egg. It, igloo, igloo. Now you try. Igloo. Octopus, octopus. Now you try. Octopus. Umbrella, umbrella. Now you try. Umbrella. How many consonants do we have in the English alphabet? What sounds do they make? Let's find out. The first thing we need to do today is look at the names of each consonant. So I will say the name of the consonant and then you say it after me. B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N. Now we know the names of the consonants, so now we need to look at what sounds they make. So I will say the name of the consonant, the sound the consonant makes, and then an example. This letter is called B. The sound it makes is B. An example word is be. This letter is called C. The sound it makes is K. An example word is cat. cat. This letter is called D. The sound it makes is D. D. An example word is dog. Dog. The next letter is F. The sound it makes is F. F. An example word is fire. Fire. The name of this letter is G. The sound it makes is G. G. An example word is goat. Goat. This letter's name is H. H. The sound it makes is H. An example word is hamburger. Hamburger. This letter is called J. The sound it makes is J. J. An example word is jar. Jar. This letter is called K. The sound it makes is K. K. An example word is kite. Kite. This letter is called L. The sound it makes is L. L. With this one, make sure your tongue is up. L. L. An example word is leaf. Leaf. Make sure your tongue is up. Leaf. This letter is called M. The sound it makes is M. M. An example word is monkey. Monkey. This letter is called N. N. The sound it makes is N. N. An example word is nest. Nest. What's the name of this letter? What sound does it make? What's the name of this letter? What sound does it make? Let's find out. The first thing we need to do today is to look at the names of each letter. So I will say the names of the letters and you repeat after me. P, P. Q, Q. The Q sound, it's sort of like a K and a Y together. Q, Q. R, R. S, S. T, T. V, V. W, W. X, X. Y, Y. Z, Z. Or you can say Z. Z and Z are both correct. Now, let's look at what sounds these letters make. I will say the name of the letter, the sound the letter makes, and then an example. And you can say the sound and the example after me. This letter is called P. The sound it makes is P. P. An example word is pig. Pig. This letter is called Q. The sound it makes is qu. Qu. It's sort of like a K and a W together. Qu. And an example word is queen. Queen. This letter is called R. The sound it makes is R. R. When you make this sound, you need to put your lips like this. They should be round, and your tongue should be like this. R. R. An example word is rabbit. Rabbit. This letter is called S. The sound it makes is S. S. An example word is seal. Seal. This letter is called T. The sound it makes is T. T. An example word is tiger. Tiger. This letter is called V. The sound it makes is V. V. When you make this sound, make sure your teeth are sort of biting on your lower lip, like this. V. V. And your throat should be vibrating. V. An example word is violin. Violin. This letter is W. The sound it makes is W. W. An example word is watch. Watch. This letter is called X. It normally has two sounds. The first sound is Z. Z. An example word is xylophone. Xylophone. And the second sound is X. X. And an example word is X-ray. X-ray. This letter is called Y. The sound it makes is Y. Y. And an example word is yellow. Yellow. This letter is called Z or Z. The sound it makes is Z. Z. Your throat must vibrate. Z. Z. And an example word is zebra. Zebra. How do you pronounce this word here? It's vice. Vice. Can C really make an S sound in English? Let's find out. If you watched part 2 of this series, you will remember that this letter is called C. And the sound it makes is K. K. The same sound as K. But sometimes the letter C can also make the same sound as S, which is a S sound. S. Remember in the intro we had this word here, and it's pronounced vice. Vice. This word here has a C, but it's actually pronounced as an S. Vice. Look at this sound here. How do we pronounce it? Many students pronounce it as D, D, but it is not D. We pronounce this sound like this. If you look at my tongue, it is here. This is very important. When you're making the sound, your tongue has to be touching your top teeth. And when you make the sound, you try and push air out. Now you try. Some example words are think. Think. Now you try. Think. Thin. Thin. Now you try. And thousand. Thousand. Now you try. And when TH comes at the end of a word, it's pronounced exactly the same. So have a look at this word. How do you pronounce it? Is it clot or cloth? It's cloth. Cloth. Now you try. Cloth. What about this word? It's pronounced tooth. Tooth. And remember, when you pronounce that TH sound, your tongue has to be here. Tooth. Now you try. Tooth. And another example word is path. Path. Now you try. Path. What about this word? It's pronounced th, right? Th. No, it's actually pronounced the. The. TH has two sounds it can normally make. The first one is called unvoiced, like this. So if you put your hand on your throat and say, you will not feel your throat moving. But the second way to pronounce TH is voiced. That means your throat will vibrate. It will move. So if you put your hand on your throat and say, you will feel your throat moving. So it's the same sound, but in the first sound, we don't turn our voice on. But in the second way to pronounce it, we turn our voice on. Now you try. If you're having trouble making your throat vibrate, here's a little trick that you can try. Put your hand on your throat and say, is your throat vibrating? Yes, it should be. So try that again and start by saying ah, and then change your mouth position to say the sound. Let me show you. But when you're doing this, make sure your throat does not stop vibrating. So it should be like this. It shouldn't be like this. Because you are making the first TH sound here, which is unvoiced. So just remember, TH has two sounds. The first sound is unvoiced. Your throat does not vibrate. And the second one is voiced. It means your throat will vibrate. How do we pronounce this word? It's share. Share. When we say the SH sound in English, your tongue does not touch the top of your mouth. No. Also, your lips should come out just a little bit, like this. Share. Share. Now you try. Share. Let's look at some other words. My name has an SH sound. So we pronounce my name like this. Shane. 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 Now you try. Shane. Another example word could be show. Show. Now you try. Show. Okay, what about this word? It's share, right? Share. No, we pronounce CH like this. Chair. Chair. When we say CH, the first thing you need to do is to pretend you're going to say t, t, the T sound in English. T. And when you say the T sound in English, where is your tongue? Your tongue is touching the top of your mouth. And then the next thing you need to do is to say sh. To say that SH sound. Sh. So number 1, put your tongue up. And number 2, say sh, the SH sound, like this. Ch, ch, ch. Don't worry if you can't do this on your first try. Just keep trying and you will be able to do it. Just remember, your tongue should be touching the top of your mouth. This is very important. Now let's have a look at some example words. Change. Change. Now you try. Change. Another example word could be chew. Chew. Same again, your tongue must be touching the top of your mouth. And then you say the sh, the SH sound. Chew. Chew. Now you try. Chew. How do we say this word? Is it what or what? What or what? Both are acceptable, but some people would say the second way is a little bit old-fashioned. Most people in 2020, not all, but most people will say what. So that WH sound is just a w sound, w. Let's have a look at some example words. Weather, weather. When. Whale, whale. Whirlwind, whirlwind. How do we pronounce this word? It's pronounced ring, ring. When we have that NG sound, we need to make the very back of our tongue touch the top of our mouth. Now you try. And also, when we make this sound, it actually comes out of our nose. So listen here. And you can see when I block my nose, the sound sounds very funny, right? So this sound actually comes from your nose. Let's have a look at a few example words. Working, working. Now you try. Working. The next one. Long, long. Now you try. Long. The next one. King, king. Now you try. King. Sounding out words means pronouncing each sound in a word so you know how to pronounce the whole word. For example, look at this word. We would sound out this word by saying k, at, cat. This is a very important skill to have in English because a lot of the time you will see words that you don't know how to pronounce. But if you know how to sound out words, then you may get the pronunciation right. Native English speakers learn this when they are children. So if you want to understand English like a native speaker, then you should learn this too. Okay, are you ready for today's lesson? Let's go. The first thing we need to do today is a quick recap of the sounds that we have learned. A recap means to revise, to look at something again. I will say the name of a letter and then I will say the sound that the letter makes. And I want you to repeat after me. Are you ready? Here we go. A, at. B, b. C, k. D, d. E, e. F, f. G, g. H, I, it. J, j. K, k, L, l, M, m, N, n, O, O, P, p, Q, qu, R, r, S, s, T, t, U, a, V, v, W, w, X. Now X can make two sounds. The first is a x sound, as in X-ray. And the second is a z sound, as in the word xylophone. Y, y. Z, z. We also looked at some extra sounds. The first one we looked at was TH. TH normally has two sounds it can make. The first is a v sound, and when you make this sound, you have to make sure your voice is on, your throat is vibrating. And the second sound TH can make is a th sound. When we make a th sound, your voice is not on, your throat is not vibrating. We also looked at CH, which makes a ch sound. SH, sh. NG, and WH, w. Okay, let's have a look at how to sound out some very basic three-letter words in English. Remember in the intro, we looked at this word here, cat. To sound out words in English, we make the sound of each letter and then put those sounds together. So with this word, we would say k, at. And then we put those sounds together and we say cat, cat. Okay, now let's have a look at some other three-letter words. The first word, bet, bet. The second word, tip, tip. The third word, nat, nut. And the fourth word, rot, rot. Now we are going to look at some more words. These words aren't actually words in English, but you should be able to sound them out. Number one, pab. Number two, len. Number three, gip. Number four, rop. Number five, man. Okay, we've learned to sound out some three-letter words. Before we look at sounding out some four-letter words in English, we need to learn some new sounds. A lot of the time in English, you will see two vowels next to each other. When we have two vowels next to each other, they normally make just one sound. But sometimes it's hard to know what sound these vowels make. So let's look at some common examples now. The first one is AI. AI. When you have AI, it normally makes an air sound. Air. For example, hair, fair, chair. AI can also make an A sound. For example, bait, gate, main. The second common example is OA. OA. When you have OA together, it normally makes an O sound. For example, boat, coat, goat. The third common example is E. When you have two E's next to each other. This sound normally makes a long E sound. E. For example, deep, need, teen. The fourth common example is O, when you have two O's next to each other. Normally, when you have two O's next to each other, it makes an U sound. For example, book, good, foot. It also makes a long oo sound. For example, boot, food, mood. Now please remember that these are just the main examples and the basic rules. There are always exceptions to the rules in English, and these vowels may make other sounds. Alright, now let's look at how to sound out some basic 4-letter words in English with just one vowel. The first one, ch, at, chat. Sh, op, shop. F, it, n, thin. F, it, sh, fish. And hand. K, lt, coat. It, lt, hilt. Okay, now let's look at some 4-letter words with the 2 vowel letters that we talked about before. S, ut, soot. L, lair. M, oat, moat. R, Rome. Pale, pale. Lone. Read, read.